But Tadej Pogacar has produced a ride that we go all the way back to Greg LeMond doing this to Laurent Fignon. This is a ride that is absolutely breathtaking. He's going to obliterate the time of Tom Dumoulin as he sprints his way to the finish.
What an amazing performance for the ages from the 23-year-old Slovenian Tadej Pogacar in the only time trial stage of the 2020 Tour de France. And not only was that performance good enough to give him the stage win, but it would also allow him to take the lead in the general classification and steal the yellow jersey from his fellow countryman Primož Roglic. Primož Roglic had been leading the race up to that point and was the favorite to win the Tour de France. But with only the final stage to Paris left, there was absolutely nothing Primož Roglic could do to prevent Tadej Pogacar from winning the 2020 Tour de France with an amazing time trial performance in stage 20. No less than 8 different riders wore the yellow jersey, which changed hands 10 times in the epic race that was the 1958 Tour de France. Charly Gaul, a young rider from Luxembourg who was as talented as he was inconsistent, didn't crack the top 5, however, until the end of stage 21. Interestingly enough, the Tour de France in 1958 featured 24 stages, for it did not have any rest day. By the end of stage 20, Charly Gaul was more than 16 minutes behind the race leader, the Italian Favero. And that meant that no one, but absolutely no one, thought that Gaul was a threat to the general classification lead. But in stage 21, in the last day in the Alps, under horrendous condition in pouring rain, in a punishing 219-kilometer stage featuring 5 major climbs, Gaul launched a massive assault on the second ascent of the day. No one could stay in his wheel. He proceeded to cross the finish line alone, almost 8 minutes ahead of the next rider. And even though that stage win propelled him to 3rd position in the general classification, he was still 1 minute and 7 seconds behind the race leader, Favero. But in stage 23, a gruesome 73-kilometer time trial up Mont Ventoux, the Giant of Provence, Gaul would prove once and for all that he was indeed the fastest racer in the 1958 Tour de France. Not only would he go about obliterating the field, but he also grabbed the yellow jersey from Favero. And just like Tadej Pogacar some 60 years later, with only the final stage to Paris left, Gaul secured a truly heroic win in the 1958 Tour de France.
Further up the Champs-Élysées, Greg LeMond now knew he was winning the stage, his 3rd stage victory of the Tour de France. The question that remained, was he getting the second that would give him the yellow jersey, worn by Laurent Fignon?
no stage tour ever produced as much excitement and as much fireworks as in the 1989 Tour de France, when Greg LeMond managed to claw back 58 seconds to Laurent Fignon in an absolute stunning time trial, particularly considering the short distance of 20.5 kilometers. The two racers traded the yellow jersey during the race no less than 5 times and were never separated by more than seconds. But in the last stage, in the last time trial, Greg LeMond decided to go full aero. Laurent Fignon decided not to. All Laurent Fignon did was put cow horn on his bike, and he didn't even bother to wear a helmet. Greg LeMond would beat Laurent Fignon at every checkpoint. He even managed to gain 10 seconds on Fignon in the last kilometer alone. Greg LeMond would go on to win the Tour de France by a mere 8 seconds over Laurent Fignon, the slimmest margin in Tour de France history. There you have it, my 3 favorite comeback in Tour de France history. Hope you enjoy it. Bye everyone.